Hello and welcome back to Daily Planning for Bitcoin and Gold. Today is the 26th of February. So, a quick recap. Yesterday, plan went a bit well actually. Followed the rules. Unfortunately, it got stopped, but it went to TP. So, I took a trade in Euro session on gold. We planned yesterday that any kind of attempt in weekly VWAP, as long as the momentum still persists, it could, at the very least, maintain the momentum and went for another leg higher, which it did, but I didn't expect to dump on New York Open, like this kind of steep dump, but that's okay. Gonna remove it. Okay, what do we have here? Additionally, my bias for gold is still longs, and POI is still the same actually. I want this kind is highs to be taken once more. We already took the previous highs with the new highs. So at the very least, since we also have these particular highs and also these POIs, so there's some kind of imbalances here. I want to see for these imbalances to be taken out. Naturally, if you went for longs, you want to see any kind of dips. Don't want to end up like this, like there's a spike in dump. But if there's dump, you want to see a quick reaction to inverse that kind of dump. So if there's any case something like that, you want to see a quick reaction, and also you want to maintain some kind of momentum on this size. So something like this, with the final reaction on this particular part. That's for gold. And for Bitcoin, unfortunately, we didn't catch the bottom. It didn't touch my magic line. And also, it didn't touch the weekly VWAP as our initial POIs. But if you take the POI on the daily VWAP, you got yourself an entry, actually. So there's some kind of deviation on the lows, standard deviations. And then it went back in, try for the second attempt, didn't take out the lows, so we see that lows still holding, and then it went back on the third attempt. I think it's safe to say that you could try to attempt for an attempt higher. So if by any chance you took a trade there, you could just try to entry on the standard deviation retest, invalidation on the lows, and try, since we know that this additionally will get filled again and will get revisited, since momentum wise we are already shifting, like I've said 2 days ago. Your first POI for take profit will be these particular highs, but the best case will be to revisit all of these highs. You still got yourself on this particular low is 3.5 and this particular high 7.5. Okay, but since I have no POI attached, my alarm didn't ring, only this particular ring. Contextual pace, I know that on this particular trade, even though the POI react very good, I'm against trend. That's why I'm being conservative, and my POIs for take profit will be just below this highs. Even though usually if there's some kind of trap here, I want to price to cover all of these big volume participants, so they get underwater, and then afterwards they give up and price went into against their position way more. But on this particular trade, it won't happen because why? We ourselves are against the trend. That's why I'm being conservative on this particular trade. Okay, still good though. Okay, so that's enough about the recap. We're going to plan ourselves for today's POI. Okay, so we don't really need this anymore. Actually, it's already got violated. We also don't need this. Oh wait, actually we didn't. We might need this. It still aligns with the POI. Okay, let's see. Performing SFP on the 2024 VAH value area high. Not a good idea, actually. We also have a grinding price here. So, on the other note, I need to remind you, contextual wise, so I don't really usually engage in this kind of stuff, but there's a big account which is an investigator. I'm going to show up my Twitter. This ZXBT is a former, let's just say, an unfortunate fellow that got scammed, and now he turned into an investigator for crypto-related scams. And he said that a major investigation dropping February 26, which is today, on one of more crypto's most profitable business. So you know how these things usually when things are a bit better, you don't really pay attention. But since we are, to my opinion, we are in a bit of bear market, liquidity dries up, and volume is very thin. Like the audio book itself is quite thin. So I don't really know which time or what time he will mention it, but those kind of things, and he is actually quite a big person. He is almost 1 million, okay, and he's valued by lots of big cities, and also if big cities follow him, mostly larpers also follows him, you know, the kind that stirs up with bullshit news and something and over glorified news, both in good things and bad things. You know how it is, okay? What I want to say is, if by any chance he dropped all of the investigations related to crypto and it is bad, there will be a big volatility. I don't know where it will went. Either it went upstairs or downstairs, I don't know. But for this kind of matter, since we are on a thin book environment contextually, I don't really want to trade Bitcoin today, but we're just gonna make a POI and see if there's reaction. And also, if we have a trade before he announced the investigations, please be as cautious and as conservative as possible. You know, you might get trade like I did in gold yesterday, almost got TP and then inverse, got stopped, and then it went back to TP. in several minutes or so. Well, it might happen. Just treat it like any other news event for today. Even though there's no news event today, but there's news event on tomorrow. I believe it was PPI for USA. But now, the news event is a major investigation by ZXBT. Okay? So, what do we have here? Actually, in higher time frame, we still have these highs and these highs still taken. So the higher time frame ones, I'm still a bit bearish, but lower time frame, we are gaining momentum. Okay, so we are performing a clear V shape. This is a clean V shape. This is a clean V shape. This is also a clean V shape. Why does it matter? Because for me, if you want to have any pullbacks, then this will be your best area to beat. For attempt to revisit these particular highs, it was ugly actually. On 30 minutes, you see how long this week was? It was ugly. So if there's a kind of pullbacks, I want to see some kind of reaction here. And there is another reaction here. So particularly, you want to see these highs get taken and perform another SFP. And that's it. I hope you enjoy it. See you tomorrow and stay safe for today.